Hi, welcome to Using Strategy Mapper. In this video, I'm going to go over how to use Meeting Mapper component of Strategy Mapper. As you can see, I'm in the classic mode of Salesforce. However, Meeting Mapper works the same in Classic or Lightning. We are Lightning ready. So I can do the similar things in Lightning. I'm just using the Classic mode right now. You can, create a meeting and link it to an account, a contact, an opportunity, a campaign, a case, or a lead. Any one of those objects support linking a meeting to them. In this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and click on an opportunity and create a meeting from an opportunity. So I'm going to click on Strategy Mapper. One thing you can see initially is I have some additional buttons here, and these are related to Strategy Mapper in general. For example, I have a meeting recap, which I can see all the meetings that I've had related to this opportunity in a very Salesforce issue way. I have the org map. I have a quick meeting, which actually, when I click it, it will take me right into the meeting page. And it'll basically have the date and time as the meeting title, but I can always change it if I wanted to. This is just for get on a quick call, boom, hit a quick meeting, and fire it up and be able to document the meeting in Salesforce. Opportunity Mapper, this is for opportunity planning and the tactical planning of an opportunity to win. The playbook is a playbook and also a close plan. Opportunity Report shows me all the meetings I've had related to this opportunity in a PDF form, so I could take it, read it, and have the same ability as a person who initially started this opportunity to close it in the event there's transition in the opportunity. And a timeline is basically a graphical representation of the meeting over time, buying personas of the individuals. I've also decided to display my org map here in my opportunity, and then I also have a section that has the opportunity score and the health of the opportunity based on the plan that I've created. And here I have my meeting related list, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on New Meeting. This will take me into the new meeting interface, and I'm just going to go ahead and give this a name, and I'm going to say Follow Up Demo. And I'm going to click Demo and Presentation as my template. So meetings are based on templates. I can have multiple templates per object. For example, I have 4 templates related to the opportunity object. But what that allows you to do then is I click on the correct opportunity, and it will display the meeting page, that things that I need to get accomplished inside of the meeting. And then I can do other things, update fields and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Demo and Presentation. Here, the conference type, I can click on what type of conference am I using. And in Meeting Mapper, wherever you see a drop down, that's configurable by you, your company. Maybe you don't use GoToMeeting or Hangout, so you can remove those and put what you have there. So it's all configurable. And then I can cut and paste my link into here. This will actually be displayed inside of the meeting invite. Type is, where is the meeting happening? Is it remote? Is it on-site? Corporate headquarters? At a conference? Now I can start tracking where I'm having my meetings and my team is having their meetings. I also already know that I linked to that opportunity that I selected from, and that I have a location. This is either the billing address, shipping address, or it could be a custom address that I can add. Maybe I'm having it at a Starbucks or whatever. What this allows me to do, if I'm using GeoPoint or other type of geo-tracking software within Salesforce, I can see where my team is having all their meetings at on a map display. Very critical. Say, okay, we know we're having 5 meetings in New York City. We're having some in Dallas, so I can see where my teams are meeting with physically. I have the start time, so I'm going to have the meeting for tomorrow, and I'm going to say it's going to be at 3 o'clock p.m., and the duration is going to be an hour. You can have increments of 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, for the time. Here you can see that I already have some meeting prerequisites that were loaded based on the template that I selected. I will also get email notification of these meeting prerequisites. Here I have some information on the internal notes. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And what this is going to do, this is going to go ahead and start creating the meeting page in the background. It will automatically add me if it's my initial meeting, or any meeting participants that I met with the last time, because we're assuming that you will probably meet with the same people again. So as you can see, I've got myself here. The colors represent buying signals. So for example, blue is just a participant in a meeting. They really don't have for, against. They're just there, for example, the account team. Red is against. You'll also see I have a red flag here, which means that Sam is against, and his role is such that he can damage or kill the opportunity. Bill is orange, that is undecided. He is a yellow flag because, again, he is undecided and an evaluator, which could hurt me inside of this opportunity. Green is for. Yellow is neutral. Pink is somebody who said they'd be at a meeting and did not show up. So you can see that I've got the folks I met with last time. On top here, you can see that I have some buttons, and these buttons are displayed, again, based on the template that I selected, and I selected the template demo and presentation. You can also see that send invites and export report are not navigable. I need to save the meeting one time before I can select those to do the functions that they're required to do. On the right hand side, you'll see I have my meeting logistics. I can change the time of the meeting if I need to, location or whatever. I have my goal and objectives of the meetings. Again, this is based on the template. I can change these, I can add them, and it does not affect the template, only the meeting that I'm working in. And again, the significance of linking it to an object, the template, is now I can update fields in here. Our goal is basically to allow you to update everything in the opportunity without having to go back in it and duplicate your effort. Because now we're reducing the administrative overhead of maintaining Salesforce, because what you populate in the meeting really proliferates all through Salesforce in the required spaces that it needs to be in. So I know I'm going to meet on site with the customer, so I'm going to go ahead and add a table. And it's going to be the oval table. I'm going to go ahead and put some people around the table where they're not necessarily sitting right now, but when I meet with the customer, I can always move them. Some of the significance of putting people around the table is in some cultures where people sit, it's very important. They may not say anything, but they have the power for go or no go. So it's very critical to be able to place the people where they're sitting. And also, it's helped me remember people's names. I can go in here and if I want to change the stance of somebody before the meeting or during the meeting, for example, I just can click on the name and it takes me into the details of that attendee, and I can change their stance right here, level of participation, role right here, and the person can have multiple roles. Or I can take some individual notes about that person. Or if I just want to change the stance, I can right mouse click on the individual and it will take me into that particular field to update. So because I just want to update that and not have to navigate through everything else. And you also see that we display the company that the individual or the account that the meeting attendee is linked to. So I've got my buttons up here. I've got back, and back would take me either back to the account or back to the opportunity. I've got add attendees. I can add attendees from my team. I could add them from the account, or I could add a new contact in the meeting page and it automatically adds them as a contact within that account. And you can see here that I've got some information about those contacts because I've met with them before. Kind of a good point here is if you don't have a role in stance or level of participation with somebody you bring into a meeting from this screen, that means you probably never met with them before, or at least for this opportunity or an account. So I'm going to go back into the meeting. Here I can send invites. When I click on that, it asks me are my date and times correct. If not, no, then I can change it. If yes, I can go ahead and click on yes. And this is going to bring me into who do I want to send the invites to? Everybody in the meeting, selected individuals. Do I want to create an agenda and it be linked as part of the calendar invite? And you don't have to do anything to Google Mail, Gmail, Outlook to be able to send these invites. We fire them right out of Salesforce, and they contain a industry or internet standard ICS file, which when you click on it, you can add to your calendar no matter what email system you're using. I could add some additional information in the invite. Looking forward, seeing everyone. I could add a file. Maybe I want to put some directions, or I want to put maybe what we're going to talk about, so I can add that. I can even email individuals that are not necessarily attending the meeting, for example, my manager, sales engineer, for example, things like that. And then I can go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and send it to myself and hit send. Now that's going to go out only to me. I'll get the invite, and I can be able to add it to Outlook. I have my notes. Now I can look at current notes, and any notes from previous meetings are also listed. So I can go back and recap before I have a meeting, because I want to start the conversation off from a new point. I don't want to really always rehash things and take up valuable time with the customer. I want to get to what we need to talk about to be able to close this deal and win this opportunity. I'm trying to beat my competition, so whatever I can eliminate puts me in a better position. So I've got public notes, and these are for everyone. Everyone in the meeting. I have cut and pasted a 72-page document inside of this notes field with pictures, with room to spare, so you can untype till your fingers fall off. So that's a public notes. I also have internal notes. These can be populated with questions or things based on the template, or here's why I want to put information that I do not want the customer to see. This is really privy to the account team and to my company's specific, maybe some intellectual property knowledge or things I've discovered about the customer. I can also save as a document if I want to, either public or internal. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Again, rich text notes, so you can hyperlink pictures and things like that. A very powerful feature of Meeting Mapper is the ability to capture actionable intelligence. These are things that are very important to be able to drive the opportunity to success. And we've made it really easy to use because they're basically all drop downs. For example, when is the decision date? Not when the close date is, when the decision date, because there may be a length of time between when they make a decision and when it closes, because I need to get contracts solidified and agreed upon and signed and things like that. Is the project budgeted? Again, wherever you see the drop downs, these can be configured for your organization. Customer reference, yes, no, maybe after, because this is really key. I've been in many companies, hey, who's a customer reference? Well, I don't know who they are. Well, now you can start tracking it. Of course, you need to get with the owner of the account before you meet, or give the name of the reference, but at least you know who to go to. What actions are coming out of a meeting? And you can see that there is things already populated on this right-hand side. This is information that I've gathered or somebody else has already gathered inside this opportunity, and it carries forward because I don't want to continue to rehash things. I want to start from a fresh point and move the opportunity forward. So we will add from meeting to meeting. You can take away, but we'll add the new things. The actions, decisions coming out of the meeting, open issues, what are the business drivers and technical requirements, and who's going to be my reference within the account. Then we have our customer requirements. This is based on the customer requirements. I could document them. For example, one of the requirements is there has to be 100% native Salesforce, which Strategy Mapper is. So I can go in here and I can pick my product. We meet the requirements. Or for example, maybe I can bring a partner in. That's 100. Meet the requirements. That's 100. Partially meets is 50. On the roadmap is 25 and does not is 0. So for example, I didn't, this is not even clearly, I can't do anything about this. So that allows me to say, was this an opportunity I should really go after? And then again, we have some other requirements. You can have as many requirements as needed. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. The next is the competitors. Who am I competing with in this opportunity, and what are their strengths and weaknesses? If I select a competitor and there's already been identified strengths and weaknesses from other opportunities, they will pre-populate within these fields. Kind of helps you, so their strength is they're a big company, but they're hard to work with. So that's a strength. High price and complex to sell. What is the customer's pain points? Why are they even, bringing you in or entertaining your solution? So again, I can have multiple pain points, and really the key to why the drop down, there's really two of them. One, ease of use, and the other is the ability to run reports on this. So now I can see trending across my entire organizations of customer pain points, for example, or really anywhere where there's a drop down. And if their pain point is not listed, of course, you can annotate it here in freeform text. I click on the more. I get what are our strengths, very critical. What are our weaknesses within this opportunity? What are the obstacles that I need to overcome? What are the objections that I need to try to mitigate? And what are the why buys? Why are they going to buy? What happens to them if they don't buy? So all this, again, is very structured data. If I want to add a new why buy, I just click on new, go into here, and pressure from the executive team and save it. So now I've got that new why buy that's attached to this meeting, which not only updates this, it updates all the dashboards and my opportunity plan. Again, actionable intelligence, very powerful. We have customers that really don't take any notes. They do everything with the actionable intelligence. I'm going to skip over export the report until the meeting is completed. I have my org map here. I can now go in and look at my org map. I got Sam over here. I didn't know who he reports to, but I did find out in this meeting that Sam reports to Ed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring Sam over here to Ed. And now I'm realigning my org chart in real time. Now you'll see what this red over here, that's because Ed was red or against last time I met with him. So I can hover over. You can see that Ed is green, but he was gray because last time I didn't meet with him before. I don't know what his stance was. So he's kind of new in this opportunity or this meeting. But again, I can realign in real time. That's the org map. I can attach a file, RFI Response. Again, you're under the limitations of Salesforce for how big those can be. I can add a table and I can add a new objective. So really the tables are the cloud if everybody's calling in, for example. Circle, oval, rectangle. I don't want any cloud. Polygon right here. Or, again, I'll go back to the oval. And you can move people around all day long. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now let's say I've completed my meeting. You can use this also in Salesforce One. So you do it right in your meeting as you're with the customer. So I'm saying that my meeting is completed. I'm going to score this meeting. I think it was a pretty good meeting, so I'm going to give it 85. These are kind of arbitrary numbers right now, but we do have things in the future that will be more solidified and really kind of quantify these numbers going forward that you won't even have to do in the future. So I completed my meeting, and now I want to click on the completed. This is important because when I check this box, it does a couple things. One is it updates the opportunity plan. This is the trigger to update the opportunity plan with new information. The second is if I go back in this meeting and I change a note or actionable intelligence, members of my team that were in this meeting will get notified that something has changed in that meeting. Maybe they want to go back and look at it. Maybe I found out some additional information, or maybe a stance has changed. Maybe I added some notes. So that's why it's critical that when you're completed the meeting to check that, to save it, and now that updates the plan and will notify anybody if things have changed. So here I want to say, well, I want to send out the customer what we talked about. So I can do an export report, and you can see right here there's nothing in here that's going to get me in trouble. Anywhere you can see the logo strategy mapper, you can change to your logo, and you also can change the colors. So here I'm going to send this to the customer, start time, location, who was there, and notes. Really nothing in here that can get me in trouble with the customer. Just informing them that we talked about. Now, let's say that my manager She knew that it was a big meeting and she wants to know what happens, but she's traveling and I really don't have time to get on a call because I'm going to my next meeting, which I don't have to worry about because Salesforce is updated. So now I can go to my next meeting and understand what I've got to do. So I go on here and export private report. So this gives everything that happened in the meeting. Who was there? What's their stance? Why are they that stance? What's their role? The goal, the objectives of the meeting, internal notes and notes. What tasks are coming out of this meeting? What's the actionable intelligence that I gathered? What are the customer requirements? Who are the competitors? The pain points, strength, weaknesses. As you can see here, everything that we discussed in this meeting is now part of this document. I can send it to my boss, and now they don't have to worry about calling me. They know exactly what happened inside of this meeting. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now, you can save it to your hard drive and then email it, or you can email it directly out of Salesforce. You go, oh, well, Travis, what about those internal notes? Well, if you send the public export, what you can see is we strip, everybody's name is in here. Now, if you want to send the private and you're worried about sending it to the customer, we strip out all of the customer's email addresses. So you would have to willfully intent to add their email addresses to send them a copy of the export. So we sanitize it really for you. So I've got my meeting completed. I go in here, you know what? I want to update the field. I've already identified the decision makers. We're moving to the next stage of the opportunity right here. I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to go back into the opportunity itself and let's see really what happened. So as you can see, I've updated the stage. I redid my org map. I can update my score if I'm using Strategy Mapper or in the opportunity planning. You go, my score went down. We can explain this in the opportunity planning, but it has a lot to do with that red and yellow flag. I've updated the meetings right here. Any open activities coming out of the meeting, they're automatically generated based on the template or that I've created. Activity history, contact roles, competitors, notes and attachments. Everything has been updated in Salesforce from the simple and easy and intuitive way of doing your meetings with your customers. So everything is completed. Again, how I do a meeting is the same in the objects that we support, whether it's an account, contact, opportunity, campaign, case, or leads. Now, meetings with leads is kind of interesting because I can have a meeting with the lead. That lead is then converted into an opportunity or an account. That or those meetings go with that lead. So I can take the account and understand where we started from with that customer. So that's basically everything, or really how to use the meeting mapper component of Strategy Mapper. Very easy to use, intuitive, and really reduce the administrative overhead of you having to go back and do 10, 20 meetings a week and then having to go back and update Salesforce. We'll automatically do it for you and you can move on to the next meeting. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email sales@pointandtime.com or just call our number on our website, pointandtime.com. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.